Hello, my good student out there. For today, I want to look at consumers' behavior. Consumers' behavior, of course, like we've always been saying in economics theory. What is consumers' behavior? How does a consumer behave? You are already aware of the fact that economics as a subject studies human behavior. And this is another aspect of it again, consumers' behavior. And under this topic, let's consider it from the angle of what now? Utility theory. Utility theory. And the word utility simply means what? Satisfaction. I take it again. The word utility simply means what? Satisfaction. Which means another word for utility is satisfaction. And therefore, utility can be defined as the total amount of satisfaction a consumer derives from the consumption of a given commodity at a particular point in time. That is utility. That says utility is the ability of a given commodity to satisfy human wants at a particular point in time. So which means to say, whatever you consume and you are able to derive a certain element of satisfaction, it means utility has been passed on to you. Then one thing you must also understand is what now? Every individual have different consumption patterns and have different level of satisfaction. So which means what pass utility to you might not pass utility to another person. A commodity you consume and you derive utility, somebody else will consume that and now say that he derives zero utility. Now, we have three types of utility. And the three types of utility says types of utility. Number one type of utility says what now? Time utility. Time utility. And this explains that what now? There are some commodities as at the time when they were produced possess zero utility. And therefore need to be preserved until the time when they will be needed. So which means to say, the time between when they are produced and when they will be needed is what refers to as time utility. That is the ability of the commodity to possess satisfaction at one time or the other is exactly what refers to as what now? Time utility. Let's take an example. Umbrella that was produced during dry season might not be needed at that time. Therefore, the umbrella has to be stored until rainy season when it will be needed. Therefore, the duration between the time when it was produced and the time when it will be needed is what refers to as time utility. That's number one. Then number two is what refers to as place utility. Place utility. And this explains that what now? There are some commodity as at the place where they were produced possess zero utility. And therefore, there will be a need of transportation to another area. Which means the difference between the where they are produced and where they will be needed is now what refers to as what now? Place utility. Sometimes cola nuts might be produced in some part of the country, but will need to be transferred to other part of the country where it will be needed. That is what refers to as what now? Place utility. Then the last one is form utility. Form utility. And then this explains that what now? Some commodity in their natural form, in their natural state, possess zero utility. And therefore need to be transformed. Example of this is flour. Used in baking bread. This flour in its natural state possesses zero utility. And therefore there's a need for what now? Transformation. And at this flour stage, at this stage, this commodity is referred to as producer's goods, or what they call economic goods. And as such, it possesses zero utility. And for that reason, there'll be a need of transforming this flour into bread or into cake. Therefore, that one refers to as what now? That one refers to as form utility. So which means in their natural state, they possess zero utility and therefore need to be transformed. So these are the three types of utility we have. Then the next one we look at what they call the concept of utility. Concept of utility. Concept of utility. Now in the concept of utility, the first one we have there is total utility. Total utility. Total utility. Now, this is the total amount of satisfaction derived from the consumption of a given output. That was referred as total utility. The total amount of satisfaction derived from the consumption of a given output. Therefore, total utility is obtained by multiplying the average utility with the quantity consumed. So which means what now? When you multiply the average utility with total quantity consumed, what you will get is total utility. Then the next one is average utility. Average. The average utility, that's AU. The average utility. AU. Now, we say the average utility means the amount of satisfaction derived from the consumption of a unit output. Okay, that means the amount of satisfaction you derive from the consumption of a unit output, and it is obtained by dividing the total utility. It's obtained by dividing the total utility with the quantity consumed. Now, what we have on the board now is the formula for the average, which means to say when you divide your TU by the quantity, what you will get is what they call the average utility. In that same vein, if you cross-multiply this formula, you will get back to the total utility. Then the last one is what they call the marginal utility. Marginal utility. That is MU. Remember, anything marginal means extra or addition. Okay, so when I said marginal utility is the addition to total utility resulting from the consumption of extra unit of output. That was referred as marginal utility. The addition to total utility. And the formula here says MU is going to be equals what now? Change in TU over change in Q. Or we could say MU equals TU2 minus TU1 over Q2 minus Q1. Yeah, of course, we are aware in our previous CDs. I've already informed you that what now? This symbol means what? Changes. So when I say change in TU over change in Q, it simply means what now? TU2 minus TU1, because when we talk about the difference of this TU2 and TU1 is what we mean by the changes. So that means changes in TU over change in Q, which means to say TU2 minus TU1 over Q2 minus Q1. So the two formulas are saying the same thing. Therefore, these are the three concepts of utility. All right. Now, I want to look at the case of what we refer to as the law of diminishing marginal utility. The law of diminishing. The law of diminishing marginal utility. The law of diminishing marginal utility. In production theory, there's what we call the law of diminishing returns. But that is quite different from this. This is the law of diminishing marginal utility. And the law states that as more and more of a commodity is consumed, utility will increase to a certain point and start decreasing as a result of continuous consumption of that same commodity. That's what the law states there. Which means the more you consume of a certain commodity, the more satisfaction you derive. The more you consume, the more satisfaction you derive. Then you get a point. That is the point of the maximum satisfaction. And that point is referred to as saturation point. And that saturation point is the point where ordinarily you're supposed to stop consuming. But if you go beyond that saturation point, what happens? The law of diminishing marginal will stand inside of you. Which means the more you consume, the more dissatisfaction you get. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. That's the more you consume, the more dissatisfaction. And that's what they call disutility. So that is where the Lord has sense out of it. No, you consume to the point where you now become uncomfortable, you become inconvenienced. That's where the Lord sets in. Now, to explain this with a simple diagram. Now, let's go back to the other side of the board there. Now, we have here our quantity. We have here TU, and here is my AU, that's the average utility, and then here is my MU, marginal utility. Now, to find the AU, because in exam, the question will definitely ask you and say what now? Copy and complete the question in the above table. Now, how would you how would you be able to explain, how would you be able to understand this now? Now, from the concept we've explained so far, to find because this, your TU is given, the quantity is given, but AU and MU is what you're asked to find. Therefore, I want to find the AU. Formula in the AU, we said AU is obtained by dividing TU by the quantity consumed. Therefore, here, 10 divided by 1 is going to give you 10. 70 by 2 is going to give you what now? 35. 115 by 3, you will get what now? That when you divide 115 by 3, then it gives you. Let's check what we'll get there. When you, because in the exam, calculator will be allowed, because sometimes these appear to be what now? The theory aspect. That's your theory aspect. And you see it in the theory, not in the objective. And so long as it is in the theory, you'll be allowed to use calculator. Except even in the case of JAMB, where calculator is not allowed. But even at that, some of the values will be given, while some will not be given. There is not left for you to use your initiative to deduce the values there. Now, if I'm to look for that, now dividing 115, divide 115, 115. 115 by 3. That gives us 38.3. 38.3. Then the next one is 155. 155 by 4. 155 divided by 4. There we get 38.75. 38.7, which means 38.8. Go approximate that. 38.8. Then the next one, divide 185 by 5. Divide 185 by 5. 185 by 5. We'll get 37. Yes. Then the last one says divide 200 by 6. 200 divide by 6. That this is the average utility there. That's the average utility. That means dividing the total utility by the quantity. What you will get is the average utility. Want to go back to the marginal utility. I've told you that the marginal utility is what now? The addition. Anything marginal, whether marginal costs, marginal utility, marginal revenue, marginal product, anything marginal means extra, or we say addition to total. Therefore, to find the marginal, we go back with that formula here. We either say changes in TU over change in Q, or we say TU2 minus TU1 over Q2 minus Q1. All right. Now, to find the MU, probably let's take it this way for better understanding. All right. Now, to find my MU, the first one is always written as constant. Yeah, because we said MU means extra. So the first of anything you are doing, the first of anything you are consuming does not give you marginal. So here is always left as constant. Or sometimes here will be written as 0. Or sometimes this value I have here is what will be here. But in most textbooks is always constant like that. Now to find this one, I would then say TU2 minus TU1. Therefore, my TU2 is what now? 70 minus what? TU1, which is now 10, over what? Q2, which is 2, minus Q1, which is 1. And that gives me what now? 60 over 1. Then my answer here appears to be what now? 60. You get that right? Now, the next one again, let's go back here. To find this one now, that gives me my TU2 becomes 115 minus TU1, which is now 70 over 3 minus 1. What do we get here? Here will give us 45 over 1. That still gives us 45 here. That's that. The next one says what now? 155 minus 115 over 4 minus 3. That gives me what now? That will give us 40 over 1. Our answer here is 40. The next one says 185 minus 155 over 5 minus 4. What do we get? 30 over 1. Here is 30. Then the last one says what? 200 minus 185 over 6 minus 5. What do we get now? We get what now? That will give us 15 over 1. Here is 15. All right. Now, this is the MU. Then when you notice something, there's something very, very important here for us to note. What is that? Now, this is 60, 45, 40, 30, 15. What that simply means is what? Your MU falls. The MU falls. Which means to say that as the quantity consumed increases, your total utility increases, but your marginal utility falls. Then the law now come back and state something here. It says when TU, very important, when TU equals maximum, then your MU equals what? 0. Yeah, that's an important concept. That when TU is at maximum, MU equals 0. And it's explained on this table that as the quantity consumed increases, your TU increases, but your MU decreases. So that means as the TU is increasing, the MU is decreasing. Then the TU get to the maximum point, the MU becomes 0. And ordinarily, that is the point where you're supposed to stop your consumption. So once you go above that level, that's the problem. Which means the more you consume, the more you spend, and the less you get. And of course, economically, it's not reasonable. Okay? So that is just the law of diminishing returns. And for this, we draw the curtain here until I come your way next time. God bless you.